5 games. Walker Kessler played 5 games this season. Now he's done. Torn labrum in his left shoulder. Season-ending surgery. The Utah Jazz just lost their best player, and their entire season might be over before Thanksgiving. Here's what makes this absolutely devastating. Kessler was having a career year. 14.4 points per game, 10.8 rebounds, shooting 78% from the field. He was dominating. He looked like a future all-star. And then his shoulder said, nope. The timing couldn't be worse. Kessler is entering restricted free agency next summer. This was his contract year, his chance to get paid. The Jazz didn't give him an extension in the offseason. They wanted to see what he could do. Well, now they're seeing him in street clothes for the next 6 months. Utah started 3-4. They beat the Clippers. They beat the Celtics. They actually looked competitive, and now their defensive anchor is gone. Their rim protector is done. Their entire identity just walked out the door on crutches. Let's be real about what this means. The Jazz are tanking. They might not admit it publicly, but come on. Without Kessler, they're one of the worst defensive teams in the league. They were already struggling on that end. Now they've got Yusuf Nurkic and Kyle Filipowski trying to hold down the paint. Good luck with that. Here's where it gets interesting. Utah has a first-round pick in 2026 that's protected top 8. If their pick falls between 9 and 30, it goes to Oklahoma City. If it lands in the top 8, they keep it. Losing Kessler might actually be the best thing that could happen for their draft positioning. That sounds cold, but this is the NBA. Sometimes you gotta lose to win later. The 2026 draft class is loaded. Cooper Flagg, Dylan Harper, Ace Bailey, generational talents. If the Jazz can land a top 5 pick, it changes their entire rebuild. The problem is Kessler's future is now up in the air. Shoulder injuries for big men are scary. He makes his living on physicality, blocking shots, fighting for rebounds, finishing at the rim. A torn labrum affects all of that. Will he be the same player when he comes back? Nobody knows. And what about his contract? He was looking at a massive payday, maybe over $100 million. Now teams are going to be cautious. The Jazz are going to be cautious. This injury just cost him millions, and he hasn't even hit free agency yet. Utah fans wanted to compete this year. They wanted to see Lauri Markkanen and Kessler grow together. They wanted playoff basketball. Instead, they're getting another lottery season and another year of development. The harsh reality is the Jazz are stuck in NBA purgatory. Not good enough to make noise in the playoffs. Not bad enough to get a top pick. Until now, Kessler's injury might force their hand. Tank for a year. Get a top pick. Build around that young talent and hope Kessler comes back healthy. 5 games in and the season's already over. That's not speculation, that's just facts. The Jazz lost their best defensive player for the year, and any hope of competing went with him. Tank mode isn't just activated, it's mandatory now.